Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The randomizers are back. We have made it through the cold, cold winter. And to kick things off, we have a very special guest. It is, of course, ESPN's Field Yates. Tonight, we battle the wheel. Let's do it. Field Yates, welcome to the show. Are you ready for what's about to happen tonight?
I'm so ready that I can retweet the Josh Norris tweet from like 10 minutes ago that says we're doing this live, and it'll actually appear live, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the beauty of Twitter. Good. Yeah.
I'm doing this then. All right, I'm doing it. I want to get the audience involved and engaged here, so I wanted to wait until I knew we were officially, totally, completely live to do this. But I got to tell you, this is whether you want to call it maybe a career-defining moment, certainly a bucket list moment for me, a personal highlight, a bar-setting moment for 2021. This is big, so I'm very honored to be here.
Well, and I feel like it's a beautiful thing because I bookended the shows last year with Matthew, and you were watching, and I think you were even texting him during that show, so it felt like a natural, extension of that to have you kick off the new season here.
Yeah, and if he's not watching the stream live right now, he's dead to both of us, and honestly, the fantasy community at large. So if Matthew doesn't contribute at any point during this draft, then as far as I'm concerned, his career is invalidated. Just for the record, Matthew, I hope you're out there watching.
Yeah, Matthew, I mean, you can do all those follow Fridays trying to prop people up in the fantasy community, but it's all meaningless if you're not watching Field and I right now.
Basically, that's the rule, and he's got about 58 minutes to make it happen, or else, again, serious repercussions.
So here's how it's going to work. For those of you guys who are new to randomizers, I have a bunch of prompts in a wheel here. I can share this here. We are going to spin the wheel for every pick. We're doing an 18-round best ball draft here on Underdog. I have solicited and workshopped a lot of prompts here, and Field and I are going to have to make each pick as dictated by whatever comes up on the wheel. That's how this is going to work. Right now, I am posting the link in the Randomizer channel Discord here, so you guys can knock yourselves out. Once this thing is filled, we will be off to the races. Did any of the prompts that were coming in today scare you, or did you feel like you had a good grip on them?
I feel okay about them. I started to read a couple of threads because some of the contributors had so many ideas that they went into multiple tweets, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to read all of them or if I wanted to allow the element of surprise to kick in. So I've workshopped a couple of ideas, and I sort of hope we don't land on any of those options as a result of the fact that I kind of already did the mental horsepower part of it.
Well, here's the thing. I do want to say some of those that were tagged, I keep a few surprises. Some of the secret ones might pop up here. We did draw our draft slot, so we're drafting 1-7, which is actually good because it gives us a little more breathing room. I drafted with DJ Ski on Monday, and we were at pick 11, and it's a little hectic at the turn.
Yeah, that is a tough one right there, 11. I'm okay with 1-7. When Matthew drew 1-1, right? Or you drew 1-1 on behalf of Matthew. So infamously, Logan Thomas went 1-1 overall and actually was like a sort of uniquely good pick, right? Like at the end of the season, you weren't like, I just lit a pick on fire. Like, I know tight ends aren't exactly inspiring in fantasy, but you landed a top 5 player to position with the first overall pick.
That's right. Yeah, that was an infamous one. You broke the news there at ESPN headquarters that Logan Thomas was Matthew Berry's 101. The draft is underway here. I say we get our first prompt, see what we're working with here at 1-7.
Never been more ready for anything in my life.
You say that now. Field. Don't get cocky. The wheel humbles us. Okay, this was the example prompt.
That is so good. So good. Look at that.
Draft somebody with a great head of hair. Of course, let's go big screen here to Field's set of hair. I mean, just incredible, impeccable hair. And what is this? It almost looks like a Christmas sweater you're wearing, Field.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I thought this was an après ski podcast. I know you have roots in the Rockies, and my wife does as well. My wife actually is also from Colorado, and her parents still live out in Denver. So this is a shout out the Rockies and shout out Roback, friends of the program. So I normally wear this like after a day of skiing, but it was a little chilly today at the end of the day. So we've been cranking up the AC because the dog loves it this time of the year. So I had to compensate.
Yeah, there you go. I feel like I'm trying to will summer into existence with my wardrobe, and you're trying to keep us in the winter. But we are on the clock. We do have 30 seconds. Any of these names here at the top, we got the running backs, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Zeke, Hill, Akers, Chubb, Eckler, Adams. Any guys with great hair standing out to you?
Yeah, so far we're dropping a little. Kelsey obviously already went off the board. Did I see that correctly?
Correct. He just went. We have 10 seconds, Field.
Okay, good, because my answer is going to be DeAndre Hopkins.
Ooh, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, I mean, again, probably not iconic here for DeAndre. Nuke, obviously, it's a little bit of a safe pick, and I feel a little bit like, I don't know, am I playing the game correctly? But there is some versatility there, and as you see here, like, I feel like he gets a lot of different dues out of it. I mean, look at that right there. There actually are, wow. Look at the one, like, third column from the left, and then right where your cursor, look at that one right there.
Yeah.
Like, that looks like a helicopter. It's amazing.
Yeah, that I think we nailed that prompt. That is incredible set of hair right there by Nuke Hopkins. And I've seen him in some of these GQ spreads. He has an impeccable sense of fashion.
Yeah, I watch a lot of real estate shows during my downtime, and I saw him on a real estate show once. Which one was it? It might have been $1 Million Listing LA, or it might have been Selling Sunset. And a great show, just a great show. And he had a $50 million real estate budget. So he's got he's got great hair, and he's got incredible taste in real estate. The LA pad he found was absurdly awesome. Oh, yes.
There we go. Speaking of great taste in real estate, Field likes to spend some time here on Nantucket. I've been to Nantucket, but I do not have an encyclopedic knowledge of every NFL player who's been there. Do you know some guys who have been there?
No, I absolutely do. So we're going to have to reach a little bit here when we're on the clock, but I can't wait to make our pick because somebody that was actually, I know this for a matter of fact, and I won't spoil the player yet, but last year during the pandemic, and Nantucket's on a very big island. So the people that show up that are notable, you hear about it, or you see it on someone's Instagram story or what have you. And last year, during a very sort of an anxious moment in his life, a particular player was on Nantucket enjoying time, I believe, with either his girlfriend or fiance. But word made around town very quickly. So while this is a little bit sooner than I prefer to address this position, I have this on such good authority that he's been on Nantucket and recently that it feels like the perfect call.
Well, you timed it perfectly, and you are such a pro. You're not going to let us get sniped here by, letting the chat know who we want. So who is the mystery man on Nantucket?
Dak Prescott last year in the midst of a high leverage negotiation. Of course, we all remember it. Days before the franchise tag deadline for when teams can negotiate or extend that contract, Dak was just hanging out in Nantucket, having a great time. Dak, you are our quarterback. Congratulations. Welcome to the team.
And was that while you were on Nantucket yourself?
I was on Nantucket myself, and the best part about it was that, like, just because we do what we do, people are like, dude, have you heard Dak is here? Like, are you guys going to hang out? I'm like, just take a step back here for a second. Like, random NFL player shows up, and like by proxy, I'm supposed to have like a plan to like hang out with him. Like, no, I wish I had that kind of clout, but I am not a high profile insider or analyst or host extraordinaire that Dak Prescott spends his social time with.
Well, see, I think you found yourself in the middle. Like, you don't have enough clout that Dak is calling you to hang out, but you're also not such an emerging journalist that you need to hop in your Jeep and just start cruising around town hunting for him either. So you're in a weird middle spot right now.
I could have gotten an exclusive there though, which would have been good. I don't know what the exclusive would have been, but it would have been fun to get an exclusive of some sort with Dak.
There you go. All right, let's let this one rip here. We see what we got. What are they saying? The wheel has been tame, is what the chat was saying. We'll see. We'll see here. Tame.
Yeah, we'll see. We got some in place.
Ooh, this one is fun. Someone popped this in the Discord, and we're gonna have to start scrolling now. Do you mind if I just quiz you going down the?
No, please do. Please do. College or the college team name, like DeAndre Swift. Do you want Georgia or do you want Georgia Bulldogs?
I will take. I'll take either. I feel I trust you. So let's just start doing this. Let's skip the first few because by ADP they're going to be gone. Let's start with a softball.
We'll reach for somebody here. Don't worry.
Ridley.
Calvin went to Alabama.
Darren Waller.
Darren Waller went to Georgia Tech.
J.K. Dobbins.
Ohio State.
Miles Sanders.
Penn State.
See, this is too easy because even I know these. Keenan Allen.
Just start.
Let's go. Okay.
Keenan Allen played at Cal.
Yeah. All right. We're going to jump. Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt went to Toledo.
Okay. My guy, Myles Gaskin.
Myles Gaskin went to Washington.
Okay. Too easy. Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson went to Toledo as well.
Whoa. Double Toledo. Holy Toledo, I should say. T. Higgins.
Right. T. Higgins went to Clemson.
James Robinson.
Illinois State, the Redbirds.
Chase Edmonds.
I know too. Chase Edmonds went to, how about this one? Fordham.
Wow. God, you're too good at this. Chase Claypool.
He went to Notre Dame.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah. North Carolina State and then Wisconsin for a year.
Okay. We got to go deeper. That's too easy. Dallas Goedert.
South Dakota State.
Guys, Damian Harris.
Wheelhouse. Damian Harris went to Alabama.
Okay. You are too. Noah Fant.
He went to Iowa.
Okay. God damn it. You are way too good at this. Logan Thomas.
Logan Thomas went to Virginia Tech where he was a quarterback.
God damn it, Field. Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard went to Memphis, one of several recent running backs from Memphis.
This is a disaster. This is a stone cold disaster. How do we stop you? Gus Edwards.
The Gus Bus went to Rutgers to start and then Miami.
You're sick.
Yeah, I know. I love the draft.
I have to go deeper because we pick in let's try I'm going super deep. I can't mess around with this anymore.
Go as deep, as far down as you can scroll. And who knows, maybe I'll have it, maybe I won't.
Daz Newsome.
Man, he was just drafted over the weekend, wasn't he? Yes, he was, but I don't know where he went to college. So there's our pick. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the team, Daz.
Does anyone in the chat without looking know where Daz Newsome went? Because that's who we just had to take in the third round.
Norris definitely knows. And that he could be a foundation piece for our team, by the way. Like, not saying he won't lead the league in scoring this year.
So people in the chat wanted me to say Ferkser. Do you know where Ferkser went?
Anthony Ferkser went to Harvard.
Of course you're going to know that one. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like, people are saying UNC in the chat. Does that sound right for Daz Newsome?
Daz Newsome did go to UNC, yes.
Okay. Well, You know what? It could have gone poorly for you, if it was some obvious one, but you're such a pro that we had to go all the way down to Daz Newsome to stump you.
I'll take it. I'm kicking myself for that one. He just got drafted. I should know better. Just the mind is a little bit of the brain's kind of mush after those 3 days. So we'll bounce back stronger next year.
We're down in territory where you don't know what school they went to. I'm down in territory where I've never heard of these guys in my life. Like there's a guy named Trey McKitty. That's a real person, Field?
Third round pick out of Georgia for the Los Angeles Chargers by way of Florida State. You're actually going to like him. Like he's a classic draft Twitter tight end, by the way. He's a freak athlete who had like 13 career college catches. It's not, he is a very good athlete, but he never had the production. This is a good one in here, by the way.
Yeah, I'm rifling off a tweet here. I need to think how I'm going to say, are you fave? We're going to do this. Fave this if Field Yates. Now I can't top. I just tagged someone named Yuri Festinksy or something.
Yeah, Yuri, I think you guys go way back, right?
We do. Fave this if Field Yates has the cutest dog.
Oh, we don't get 100 likes.
Okay, please. Oh. Okay, guys, I just tweeted that out. Please go like this. I only have 4 picks to get to 100 likes. This is going to be bad. I need to get to 100 likes. Otherwise, we have to take, I believe it's a backup QB. Can you start thinking about our backup QB if we don't get there?
Right, yeah. I'm looking for someone from who's Daz Newsome's backup quarterback? If he played like high school football somewhere. Man, come
on, guys. We're up to 25 likes. I'm desperate for the likes here, guys.
I'm thinking Kevin Hogan would be a good backup for us. Just feels like a good backup quarterback. Where's he playing these days, Hogan? Is he with Washington, maybe?
Evan Hogan, his team, I don't even see it in the system.
He's a free agent. You know, the Packers are looking for a backup quarterback these days, as I'm sure you've heard, right?
That's true. I feel like my go-to backup tight end these days is Ben DiNucci. I feel like that's just such a great backup quarterback there.
Yeah, that is a good one right there. How we're doing on that? We're at 44. I feel like the people are kind of letting us down. I'm gonna.
This is okay. I mean, people in my Discord were actually battling with me about if 100 likes was too ambitious for a prompt. And I will say I didn't workshop this tweet. I didn't think this was on the fly, but it's going to be close because Willis is thankfully salting the clock for us. Willis is my guy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have about 30 more seconds to get it. Otherwise, you think we have to go DiNucci?
I think we have to go DiNucci, who that would have been a good college question. He was James Madison, but that would have been that's a tough one. Like, not a lot of James Madison NFL players, to my knowledge.
Who, if we somehow get to 100, who would be your pick here, just based on best available? I'm
gonna go with I'm gonna go with Chris Godwin. I feel like there's a bounce back coming, and I know that he didn't drop that far, but the scary part for the Bucs is that like they kind of didn't hit their stride until like week 13 last year. So I think Godwin's ready. He also dropped way more passes last season than I've ever seen him drop before. It doesn't feel replicable, if that's the right way of describing it. Repeatable. Same thing.
So, Field, tonight I learned the limits of how much clout I have, about how much engagement I can get with my tweets. I even tried to use you and your puppy for engagement, and I failed,
Yeah.
Field.
Well, I'm going to have to have a conversation with the dog. Tell him to be a little cuter. Come on, Cisco. Bring the noise.
Do you know what I should have done? Is I should have changed my profile photo to you and said, breaking news, Aaron Rodgers traded to the Denver Broncos. That would have done it.
Did that happen?
Field, I mean, you can't be sleeping here. You got to be. How many push alerts do you have on your phone?
I've narrowed it down to like a pretty deep. Like, are you saying people who I have like notifications on for, or just like when do I get notifications?
Yeah, I guess like, do you? I mean, you're probably the one breaking news, so you don't need to have other Twitter notifications on, I would guess then.
Oh, Schefter's notifications are 100% on. I actually think it's like a healthy way to live life, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
In our industry, I know it's going to sound like a little bit sick because most people are like, wait, so you want to constantly be aware of the news? And it's not the times where like, if I'm at dinner with my wife and Schefter tweets something that's like notable, but not necessarily like earth shattering news, like I understand it, right? Like I can pass. But if you're like walking the dog and Schefter tweets like Aaron Rodgers is unhappy with the Packers and may not ever come back to the franchise, like it's good to know, like, all right, let's go back to the house, get on the computer, start to log on so that we can, attend to the news as needed. So he's kind of like the one that I kind of make sure I have on at all times, lest I miss something significant.
Yeah, I would assume he is the one who has the most notifications turned on for Twitter accounts. Might be up there for people. All right, we're under the crunch time. We must draft a wide receiver drafted by Bill Belichick, not coached by Bill Belichick. Drafted by Bill Belichick. Do you have any gems for us here?
Okay, so drafted by Bill Belichick. Who is it that I've got to figure? Like somebody semi-recently, like had not quite a resurrection, but like looked much better post Patriots than he did. I mean, right now we're looking at like
N'Keal Harry.
Jacoby Myers wasn't even drafted, so that's tough right there. Braxton Berrios could be on the roster. Man, is there anybody else that like we're just completely like off the top of our head missing?
They have been very bad at drafting wide receivers over the past
blind spot.
7 or 8 years. Yeah, I can't even think of anyone, a free agent that left. I mean, if we have Josh Norris saying there is no one.
if Josh can't think of anybody, there is nobody. Hey, N'Keal Harry is going to bounce back this year. That's why we're doing it then. We're feeling confident. Someone's got to be on N'Keal Harry Island. Is there an island of N'Keal Harry? Is there?
So I was on it last year. I was like, I'm going to ignore year one. We're going to double down here. And I think I have chartered my jet off of N'Keal Harry Island at this point.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, you and I might have to go find it. Hopefully it's not, like drifting away into the ocean somewhere. But, yeah, N'Keal Harry Island. That's what we're doing it.
What is now that free agency has shook out? What was now kind of your take on how the Pats handled free agency? The two tight ends spent a lot on those wide receivers as well. Do you think there was some logic to it, or does it look a little poor in hindsight?
Yeah, no, I think there's logic to it. And I know that the contract that probably stands out most to people is Nelson Aguilar, just because his deal came together fast and other deals for wide receivers came together slow or barely came together at all, right? Like if you had told me that Juju was going to get a 1-year, $8 million contract like 10 months ago, I would have told you like, nah, probably not. You know, like he'll probably get like $18 million a year. But I think it's probably reflective of something we see in the draft sometimes. Like when a player gets drafted early and he might be like a couple, I'm not talking about like how I think the perception fairly was that the Raiders like drafted Alex Leatherwood a lot sooner than you would have expected him to. But when a guy in the first round goes like 3 to 5 or 6 slots earlier than you expect him to based off of the mock drafts, and shout out Josh Norris once more time, who absolutely crushed it. Couldn't be happier for him because he's worked so hard to study these drafts for so long. But when a player goes like 3 to 5 picks or sooner, you're sort of like, all right, hey, the team is saying to itself, like, he's just too important to us to miss out on. And that was my read on the Nelson Aguilar deal, is that the Patriots felt like the element of speed, vertical ability, and I know Nelson Aguilar has become like this easy internet meme, but like Nelson Aguilar, ask anybody who's played with him, unbelievable dude, like high character, cares a lot about his profession. Like I think all those things appeal to the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, in Nelson Aguilar, I mean, everyone had very high hopes for Ruggs last year in year one, and he rendered him a bench player because he was so good down the stretch for them. Yeah,
he was like legitimately good last year too, right? And also, so he's played 6 seasons now in the NFL, I think. I think he's had 2 really good years out of those 6, which I know is like not quite the hit rate you're looking for a guy that was drafted like 21st overall. But he killed the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I'm sure everybody remembers that as well. So I thought it was fine. Yeah.
All right.
I like this one.
Of Field Yates, draft someone with an E in their first and their last name here.
I wish Ezekiel Elliott was still available.
I know. I'm already scrolling here. A lot of guys that
options include. Yeah, Chase Edmonds is an option. It's like Chase Edmonds is our best option right now.
Odell.
Yeah, there's a possibility there. We don't have a running back, do we?
We do not have a running back yet.
Yeah, I know we've cornered the market on Daz Newsome. So let's plan for Chase Edmonds. Raheem Mostert, another good one there. Debo, I would consider as well.
What's your take? Obviously, in fantasy and dynasty circles in particular, people are starting to get a little excited about Trey Sermon. Do you think he can wrestle the job away or be in more of a straight committee, or you think Mostert still has the inside track there?
So I think what I've come to realize in covering fantasy, and I'm going to sort of like tangent here and then get back to the specific question, is that like, I don't know how much we reward people for just like the vanilla. Are we back on?
No, I was just showing the prompt for those guys. Yeah.
Like, you know, a lot of us have comparable like-minded ideas during the preseason, right? Like usually top 5s, or let's say like most people's top 8 includes like 5 of the same players. It's in everybody's top 8, if that makes sense, right? Like most people are going to have Devontae Adams at or near the top of their wide receiver rankings, etc. So I feel like what I've realized is that like sometimes what people are gravitating towards are those who have a call that's like a little bit unique, a little bit bold, and it gets proven right, even if there's elements of doubt. And so there's one side of me, it's like, I think Trey Sermon can be the guy. He finished incredibly strong at Ohio State, had the 334-yard game against Northwestern. Like, there are a lot of good indicators here. The other side of me is like, okay, Raheem Mostert's legitimately good. Jeff Wilson was legitimately good last year. Wayne Gallman was signed to a 1-year contract. Like, they've got they have the most crowded backfield in fantasy this year or in the NFL this year that I'm probably going to end up fading the entire backfield, which is sort of sad because there's so much upside.
Who likes collecting running backs more, Kyle Shanahan or Pete Carroll?
Ooh, it's a close one. I think it's Kyle Shanahan, volume. Like, I feel like Pete goes for, like, he's made some big investments, like a first-round pick in Rashad Penny and, like, Although he has cycled through a handful of guys. Eddie Lacy was there for a minute last year. Carlos Hyde. It's close. I'm going to give Kyle the most narrow of edges, though.
Yeah, they both love collecting their running backs there.
They do. They do.
Even Pete Carroll, there was a point he was trying to court Marshawn Lynch, out of retirement to come back.
I'm not ruling that out of happening again at some point. And I feel like it's the way to do it. It's going to happen.
Okay, so this one, we're going to roll a dice 2 times, add the number together, draft the player at that position in the queue. Should we go E-dice or real dice?
Do you have real dice with you?
I think so. I didn't get my props fully ready. Let me grab. Field, can you hold down the fort while I grab my dice?
I got this. No problem whatsoever, everybody. Field Yates here, reporting live from the Overzet mansion. And good to see that Pete carries all kinds of very useful things or stores them around his house. I feel like one thing that definitely needs to be talked about more on the internet is Pete's backdrop. I've always wondered how he creates that baby blue light in the back of his desk area. I have the most vanilla, I guess this is actually, I think they call it maybe copper or something in the background. Really boring. We had a great time when you were gone, Pete. But I promise we didn't screw it up too much.
Well, last year when I had to do that, I had Mike Hitman on from the Fantasy Footballers, and he started talking a lot of shit about me while I was gone. But you don't strike me as someone that would talk shit about me while I was gone. You're too nice.
No. Only about the Fantasy Footballers. Who are those guys? Seriously. No, I'm just kidding. I love those guys. They're so funny, man. I appreciate the attitude and approach, and they're obviously very smart and insightful too. But I've got a lot of love for what the Fantasy Footballers do. It's a cool story of just sort of making something out of your passion, and those guys have done that with tremendous success. Okay,
this is what we're going to do. I got my 2 dice here. I'm going to try to do some camera work here. I'm going to point my webcam down. Let's see if I can make this. Okay, you guys can see here. So here's my first die. Now it's out of frame, but it was a 1.
Okay,
that's
1.
Good. We want low numbers here. Let's go.
We'll take 2.
All right.
Take it.
So
third in the queue.
When we are on the clock here.
Yes.
Let's see here. We're taking TJ Hawkinson. Let me go back to the screen. Sorry.
I'm in on it. So here's a question for you. This is pretty important. Here's a funny story. I don't have too many of these, so I'll share it. So the 2018 NFL draft, 2019 NFL draft, what year was Hawkinson drafted? I think 2019.
Yeah.
Hawkinson gets drafted. It was in Nashville, and I was flying to my best friend's wedding that weekend. So I was at the draft covering it the first night, and then I got up on Friday morning and flew from Nashville to Detroit. Not a lot of planes, obviously, from there. So I'm sitting there waiting to board the plane, and there's this guy who looked as normal could be. I mean, he is the most just average-looking person ever. And then I'm like, oh, that's the guy who got drafted 8th overall, and is one of the best tight end prospects we've seen in so long. And TJ Hawkinson arrived to Detroit with absolutely zero. No one was like, oh my God, there's the new Detroit Lion, right? There's just, at the time, nothing about him struck you as atypical. Have you seen him now, though? He's got serious drip now.
Really? He's
yes.
Wow. I have not seen it. So he's kind of gone the Travis Kelce route where he's become a fashion icon.
Yeah. So I think he's been hanging out with, and I could be wrong here. But maybe the pictures will confirm it. Hawkinson's been hanging out with some of the dudes from Bustin' with the Boys, the great podcast with Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. And I think Bob Tunyon and also and also Kittle have kind of influenced his tight end swag. So I feel like right now the internet's not helping make my case.
Is he on Instagram? Let's see here.
I think he is. I got to figure he is. He's got to be, right?
Yeah. Let's see here. So this will help us out here.
Yeah. Okay. You see what I'm talking about now.
Okay. Look at this.
So you go 2 to the right, and you could see that's him on the bus with the boys right there. You open up that one, tell me that dude right there, frame left, that's a different cat. That's not the guy that I saw walking off the plane.
This is someone who got their swag back.
Yeah. And I by the way, I don't fault him. I think it's awesome. And he's also really good. So I know he hasn't necessarily been a fantasy rock star yet, but I'm in. Oh, speaking of rock stars, my dog's trying to come in right now. Hey, buddy.
We have, I just received a $5 tip because my friend Jack thinks you're insanely attractive. I'll PayPal it to you after, Field.
You shouldn't do that. That's very kind of Jack to tip, and I appreciate that. Have you heard of this new feature that Twitter is offering?
The tips. I was actually Jack who brought it to my attention today. What are your thoughts on the tips?
So first of all, I love the outrage that happens when Twitter folds a new feature in, right? People, there's no yes, there are fleets. You have no obligation to fleets or to consume other people's fleets.
Hang on real quick. I neglected my duties. We're one show in and I already forgot. Oh my God, this is going to be bad. We have 20 seconds and you have to tie a necktie in less than 15 seconds. Do you have a necktie by you, Field?
No, but I'm going to get one real quick.
Who do I have to draft if not? If not, draft a player with an ADP higher than 150. Oh my God. Higher than 150. I don't think we're going to make it. We're going to end up having
man.
Although I can draft from a position I want. No, we did. Field. Actually, we all want to see you tie a tie. We did. It was my fault.
It's okay.
We do want to watch you tie a tie.
I'll come down and do it for you. Don't worry.
Welcome to randomizer season, guys, where I forget to do my one job of spinning the wheel.
Okay. Well, hey, I came back with a tie.
Okay. Let's see it here. We're going widescreen. This is going to be a consolation tying here.
It feels like a little bit of pressure, but I always like the tie over a pullover look, so it'll be good.
Yeah, you look like you're headed to a college frat party right now with some costume prompt.
Yeah, I'm in on that. I actually went to college about 20 minutes from where we now live, so and I was in a fraternity there, so maybe there is a party going on tonight. I guess we can't really party yet in the state of Connecticut, but here we go.
There you go.
I've done that in 20 seconds.
Do you know who has nothing on your drip? TJ Hawkinson, man. I mean, Field Yates with the Christmas sweater and tie combo. I mean, I think you have the cake.
Yeah, I feel like people are probably intimidated right now, which I can't blame them.
That's right. What do they say, Field? Dress for the job you want, not the one you have. You were dressing for the randomizer host job.
Hey, I'm coming for your job.
Okay, here we go. San Francisco, of course.
Well done.
And your dog getting a lot of love from my Twitter, from the wheel tonight.
Cisco is right here. I'll see if I can. He's in a cone right now. Pardon the experience. Cisco.
Oh,
hey, buddy.
Cisco.
Oh, who's a good boy?
Why is Cisco in the coin in the cone?
Cisco had how to put this? The snip recently.
Oh.
It was time. It was we had reached the age at which it was appropriate and necessary for him to have the peanuts removed. So he's now at a more manageable stage. He's not nearly as when we're around other dogs. He's got less aggression. Not even aggression. He's got less energy, which is good.
Yeah. Is your dog an Instagram influencer? Because I sometimes feel influenced when I see him on Instagram.
I think so. I mean, I would like to think he is. He probably doesn't realize he is. My wife gets the credit for that, though. She's the one that's controlling that account. I just can, on occasion, contribute to it.
I thought Frisco for sure had opposable thumbs and was doing all the hashtags, but way to ruin it.
He might.
Okay, so we are up in 2. We are drafting a 49er per Cisco here. Our guy Mostert is still on the board. Trey Lance, Jeffrey Wilson. What do you think?
We're taking, I'm thinking Mostert is the value here. If we didn't already have DiNucci, I'd feel good about Lance. But I'm going to go with Mostert here. Your thoughts on the issue?
Yeah, no, I think Mostert is pretty clearly the play. And I mean, last year at this time, he was going in the 5th, 6th round. I don't know if Trey Sermon is enough to drop him, almost 4 rounds in ADP.
I agree. And have you remember last year? Do you remember the day that he demanded a trade?
I don't remember that, but this is why you're the NFL insider and I spin a wheel.
Yeah, so Mostert had a trade demand where it was and it was one of those where it was a perfectly timed story. There wasn't a lot else going on in the NFL that day. I mean, obviously during this time last year, there wasn't a lot going on in the sports world, period. So it was one of those magnificently timed stories where he's a really good player, obviously a very good runner and just a total stud on special teams. But it was one of those where it was it got front page treatment, so to speak. It was awesome. And he obviously ended up going nowhere, and he got a new contract and he's still with San Francisco. But the investment in Trey Sermon makes you think that they are preparing for life after Raheem Mostert is going to be a free agent next summer or next spring.
When you like with your sources and stuff for breaking news, do you and Schefter have like different beats, or do you guys end up talking to the same people, or is it like, let's divide and conquer here?
My guess is that everybody that I talk to, Schefter is also talking to, whereas, I have probably, for every 100 people that he speaks to, I'm also speaking to those people, right? But I'm not even trying to be a mensch here, but I probably will sound like one. I think you guys know this. We obviously had a lot of fun with Shefty on Monday. He's the best teammate I've ever had in any walk of life. Like, that guy has been so incredibly generous to me and so many other people at ESPN. I know I'm just sounding like, just, hey, what do you like? Well, that's what you should say about Schefter. But he is the most decent, generous person that you'll ever meet. And the amount of like the generosity and the selflessness that he shows in a business where being cutthroat and being, I don't want to say selfish, but making it, the more you can bring the attention, not necessarily towards you, but as we know, retweets, likes are all important metrics in the world of sports media. Pretty impressive. So Schefter is, he's the GOAT for a reason.
There you go. So you're saying you've never gotten ready to fire off a tweet and says, hey Field, you're going to have to send that one my way. That's my tweet.
Yeah. No, but there have been, what I have learned though, is that if I get wind of something that's significant, I found it's a reasonable courtesy, if time permits, to be like, hey, are you at all aware of this? And if the answer is no, then it's like, all right, just keep going. But if the answer is yes, it might be like, hey, I'm aware, hey, we need to wait 10 more minutes. There's a reason why, et cetera, or something like that. So, this is a good one. All right. Draft a player we have breaking news about.
And this is, ties in nicely with that conversation here. I'm sure you've tweeted about a lot of these players in
Brady,
some capacity.
One? That'd be a good one. Do you want to take Brady? It's always a good one.
We probably don't want to go 3 quarterbacks at this point. We really need wide receivers or running backs.
Okay, let's go to the wide receiver chart for a second. Good depth there, obviously, this year.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney. Oh, no, I was thinking Chaz Newsome there a second ago.
We got 7 seconds. Tell me you broke some news.
Corey Davis at some point. I'm pretty sure there was a Corey Davis 5th-year option story at one point.
Corey Davis, 5th-year option. Everyone go fact check Field Yates, because I swear to God, if he didn't break this news and we just ruin the integrity of the randomizer wheel, I will never recover.
Actually, it's my fault if there wasn't something there.
What's your, when you think of your Hall of Fame scoops or breaking news that you're most proud of or most memorable, what comes to mind?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like I was asked that somewhat recently, and I had I completely just did not at all come through on a good answer. But what I found has been more interesting, and maybe this just sounds lame, is the stories that are kind of a blend of it's not necessarily just reporting, but it's also kind of instinct and also telling a cool story. So I remember this, there was a tweet, or there was a time, you may remember this, David Moore at the end of a game late in the season last year, Seahawks wide receiver at the time, caught a pass. The Seahawks were up against the 49ers, and they were trying to milk the clock. And they ran one of those, those jet sweeps where the quarterback is in shotgun and Russell Wilson just takes it and kind of bunts it forward to the wide receiver, who I think David Moore ended up with a 1-yard gain. It was totally insignificant. And everybody was like, what the hell are the Seahawks doing? This makes no sense whatsoever. If anything, it was slightly risky to throw a pass when all you needed to do was take a knee and the game is close to over. And also, it's disrespectful. And I'm pretty sure this was week 17 of last year. And so I was like, there's got to be something there. And I finally heard from someone who was like, oh, I don't know if you know this or anybody knows this, but he had 1 catch left to reach an incentive.
Oh, yeah.
For, I think it was $50,000. And it was one of those stories that, again, I'm not saying it's there's breaking news about a contract or a coach getting hired or fired, those are probably more significant. But that was a cool example of when, sometimes the stories come to you and those are great, but sometimes when you go and seek out stuff and there's a positive side to it, those are fun and enjoyable as well.
Yeah, I bet. All right.
good one right here.
So we had the hair with DeAndre Hopkins. Now we're going to the closet here. Draft a player who Field would be willing to swap wardrobes with. Do you have any wardrobe envy of NFL players?
Yeah, I do. But you told me I'm supposed to lay off the quarterbacks. But
I think we can go quarterback.
Tyrod would be certainly a lead candidate there. I know you've seen Tyrod in some of the pregame drip. That would be up there. You know what though? You know what? Let's address our need.
Yeah.
Address a need. You know, we need a wide receiver, and I know that the fantasy community is collectively out on him. Mecole Hardman brings it.
Yes.
He brings it hard. So
did he get drafted?
Hardman hasn't been drafted.
He's drafted. Yet. That was a good call. Yeah.
He does bring it. Okay. Let's just take a quick look down here. Ruggs is pretty good as well. Ruggs is definitely a contender there. We'll keep scrolling a little bit to see if there's somebody who might stand out. Kirk brings it a little bit as well. Man,
it's tough.
Man. This is tough right here.
Let's take a look at Tyrod Taylor here.
Oh, silky smooth with the suit game. It's ridiculous.
Pretty cool hoodie on in that one.
Yeah.
Google Images isn't best for casual.
Yeah, it's very playing photos. Can you just do Tyrod Taylor's suit? Maybe, I don't know.
Let's see. Okay, he's on the Instagram.
Oh yeah, this would be useful.
Okay. All right. Oh, look at that. He's on the cover of a magazine right there.
In Europe right there too. That's impressive.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
His suits are really top notch, but he definitely knows what he's doing at all times. The suits are really where he brings the heat. But we'll find some. I'm sure we'll find one or two suits somewhere that will definitely bring. But I think Ruggs is also a leading candidate if we have to go for need.
We don't. I think we follow our heart here. I think we are committed to losing this league. So I say we might as well have some integrity with the wheel.
I agree. And I wonder what Tyrod would do with this pullover. I think he'd probably rock it. Probably rock it better than I can rock it, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, when you're an NFL athlete, I feel like the things you can get away with wearing is just is exponential relative to what I can get away with wearing.
It's definitely confidence too, right? It's how confidently do you rock this thing? Do you look like you're nervous? Do you feel like, are you just are you dripping a lack of confidence?
Yeah.
If the answer is no, then you can pull it off.
Yeah, no, I think you pull off the look. You even have the unbuttoned or kind of disheveled tie look, like you just had a long day at the office. Now you're at the bar, you loosened it up. You look very comfortable in that outfit.
Very Jim from The Office is what I'm going for here.
Yeah.
Kind of my goal.
Exactly. Okay, let's do a little just recap on how we're looking here. We are going to be picking in the 12th round. And we have 3 quarterbacks: Dak Prescott from Nantucket, Ben DiNucci, our backup, Tyrod Taylor with the drip, Chase Edmonds with the double E's, Raheem Mostert with the Cisco love, DeAndre Hopkins with the great hair, Des Newsome because Field Yates, shameful, didn't know where he's from, N'Keal Harry because Bill Belichick can't draft wide receivers, Corey Davis because of the
breaking news, I think.
Breaking news.
Yep.
Rob Gronkowski because of the dice.
Yep, that was the dice.
And TJ Hawkinson because of
was that the Q? No.
I was so close.
That was Gronk.
Okay. There we go. Someone tell me what the Hawkinson prompt was. We were close.
Yeah.
That was going to be my version of a party trick, being able to remember why we drafted, and then even I lost steam.
Yeah, it's all relative.
Oh, Gronk was the tie time, and then Hawk was the swag. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Draft a player with a name first or last from the 06010 podcast.
Okay. So meaning someone whose name either last name Barry or first name Matthew.
Yep.
Le'Veon Bell is sitting there on the board for us.
Certainly Bell is a good one.
Le'Veon Bell, Blake Bell, the Bell Dozer. That's also a good one.
Joshua Dobbs?
There's some potential there. How about Le'Veon sort of where I'm leaning because the team sucks so bad right now that I want to just lean into it. And Le'Veon doesn't even have a team right now.
Matthew Stafford's already gone. It does seem like Bell is going to be Daniel Jones is another option. I don't know if we can go 4 quarterbacks.
4 quarterbacks might be a little rich. Daniel Brown from the Jets is a tight end who plays 8 snaps a year on offense. That could be a worthwhile one.
Let's
We get
go.
points for covering kicks. Let's go with Le'Veon.
We did. I got the cue ready. We got drafted, but that's a nice homage to Stefania there.
Perfect. Yeah, Stefania. Shout out to Stefania right there.
If we would have gone full narcissist, we could have had Justin Fields there.
Damn, that would have been a good one. Yeah, I kept getting confused. Not confused, but I kept having this moment during the pre-draft process where, like, I'd be on a Zoom call before a show. People would be like, "Yeah, Fields has just been so erratic recently," or "Fields is so impressive," and I'm like, "What did I do?" I'm like, I got to remind myself that narcissist in me definitely was shown through.
Yeah, I mean, is there enough room in the NFL for two Fields? That's the question.
Probably not. I'll be covering hockey by the end of the year.
So, are you? I assume this is your first fantasy draft of the season.
This is my first fantasy draft of the season. This is really refreshing.
It is. It's isn't it nice to draft when the only stakes are trying to tie a tie before you draft?
Yes, it is, and I've been going back and forth with somebody in our Dynasty League that we play in at ESPN, or one of our Dynasty Leagues today on a trade, and it's like it is going painstakingly slow, and it's like every offer that either one of us has in mind is like so insulting to the other person when the reality is like probably each of them has been fair. The stakes just feel too rich, right? You're like, I don't want to ever finish last in this league, and but I don't know if like I'm just like moving more towards the middle with this trade. Am I moving away? I can't quite figure it out. So it's nice to play in a league where you're debating between Blake Bell and Le'Veon Bell.
For sure. Do you have some dynasty drafts coming up here soon then?
We are doing, so the one that I probably feel the most strongly about is the one that I was mentioning for ESPN. Oh, this is good. Okay.
Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune. There we go.
This is just its ears were burning after we talking. So this is the before and after. You must draft Justin Field Yates or another before and after NFL player combo. So if we can come up with any other name, I think we can go with celebrities, whatever we want to justify our picks here.
Okay, so before and after Justin Field Yates.
Let's see. So who's let's see here. Hunter Prince Henry. No, that one doesn't really count.
Yeah, I guess that would be the mixing of the names. Hunter Prince Henry.
Let's see here.
Devontae Adams Schefter. Because after the end of Adams rolls in, he's way gone. Obviously, that would have been sweet.
Ooh, the chat's gonna help us out here. Naheem Hines Ward.
I like that. That's a good one right there.
Philip Lindsey Vaughn. That's a good.
Yep.
Willie Nelson Aguilar.
Oh, we do. We don't need a wide receiver, and I kind of sang his praises earlier. So I feel like Aguilar's the pick right now.
I love
that. Where are you at
on
Aguilar this year? Like, don't you feel like a Patriots pass catcher probably has to emerge as relevant this year because they have 4 that are like at least well compensated?
Yeah, I'm with you. I still think Jacoby Myers is the best wide receiver there, but I mean, Aguilar, he very much surprised me last year. I mean, and he was getting used all over the field. He was really efficient with deep throws too. I could see him still having a lot of juice in that offense.
And especially if Mac Jones wins the job early, which I have no idea if he will or not. But one thing that I thought kind of like sucked about the pre-draft process for the quarterbacks, basically all of them not named. Well, I guess Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson were like somewhat less or somewhat more immune to this. Was that like when the 49ers traded up to 3 and the idea was, or at least there were some who believed they could take Mac Jones. Like the people that were scolding the idea of drafting Mac Jones, like the guy just completed 78% of his passes for 4,500 yards and was virtually perfect this past year, right? Like he was unbelievable. Justin Fields had like one bad college game and people were like, this narrative was emerging that like he couldn't hack it against the best competition, right? Or Trey Lance, it's like, these ridiculous cherry picking arguments against these players. From like all 5 of them are nasty. Like all 5 of them are insanely talented. And I get it. One of them had to be first and one of them had to be last. And Mac is last of them. And I don't know what Mac Jones is going to be in the NFL, but like all of them are freaking studs.
Yeah. It's a loaded class here. Draft a player whose name also sounds like he'd play lacrosse at an Ivy League school here. We're going to have to do some stereotyping now, Field.
Yeah, Hunter Henry would have been a good one for us, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Daniel Jones is definitely in the mix.
J.D. McKissick sounds like a lacrosse name, honestly.
Yeah, he could be like a quick attackman. I could see that. Jamison Crowder. Jamison's a very regal name, isn't it?
Yes.
Adam Troutman definitely stands out right now.
Troutman's a good one. Yeah. I like the more funky first names. Diami Brown.
Yeah, that is good right there.
Let's see.
Diami Brown's an interesting one. That's piquing my interest right there.
Diami feels like very shifty, very
like you can't guard him from X. He gets one step on you and you're done.
That's right. Let's see here. Dwayne Eskridge, another name that feels so lacrosse-y to me.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Let's see here. Kenneth Gainwell's a good one.
Yeah. We do need another running back on our roster too.
Let's see. Should we get Kenny Gainwell is very lacrosse-y to me.
Yeah, I'm into it. I want the Ross. Like, I don't even know if Gainwell's going to he'll make the team for the Eagles, but like, no guarantee he even plays this year. I'm totally down for it.
Yeah, he was one of those guys I know the Dynasty community was very excited on, and then just got absolutely buried with that landing spot.
Yeah, that was a tough one right there, and he slid to the 5th round, which has my antenna up a little bit. I don't know if it's like he's too diminutive. Like we did this with, a couple of years ago. Wow, the name is I'm going to think of it in a second here. The Eagles drafted a running back out of San Diego State. Oh my gosh, we all know this player. 4th round pick.
Oh, Terrell Watson?
No, Josh Norris is like.
Oh no, that was Azusa
screen. Oh my gosh, this guy, he like broke records like Marshall Faulk had, and unbelievable. He was there before Rashad. Maybe it was either right before or right behind Rashad Penny. I can't believe I'm blanking on this name right now. This is out of character.
The chat will help us out in a second.
Yeah, they'll get us in a second. But it was like, oh my God, he went to the Eagles. Yes, there it is, Donnell Pumphrey. Thank you. Oh, my guy Kevin Pulsifer, who is watching, and Kevin Pulsifer, who I got to give a shout out to. Because I can, right?
Yes,
Kevin Pulsifer is the researcher for Fantasy Football Now. He is an absolute, he's like a beautiful mind. Like the amount of stuff that he can think of and the creativity that he shows on that show, I don't even have the words for it. Like I show up on Sunday with a stack of notes that it was like my brain was working for the last 4 days on them when my brain actually didn't work on them at all. It was all Kevin Pulsifer. So shout out Kevin Pulsifer, big Villanova guy too. So,
all right. I don't want to make assumptions on, making you rip shots on a school night, but I feel like I'm done taking just really random players. So I'm willing to take a shot for us here, Field, so we can actually get a good pick.
What a guy. I mean, I have a bottle, I'm upstairs. I've got a Gatorade bottle right now, which is just filled with water. I could pretend like it's it's something else. I think if you
chug that water, I think that'll count. If I do the shot and you chug the water here.
Okay. I'll handle it.
Yeah. It's time to hydrate. Cheers, Field. Thank you for doing the show tonight.
Cheers. And thank you for having me on. It's been a real highlight.
You actually said, I think it was a career-defining benchmark is what you said at the beginning, right?
Right. Everything goes downhill from here. Just too bad. Sorry, NFL Live tomorrow. I'll just have to be, have to act like I care,
There you go. I actually felt that one. And I realized I just took a shot. So I didn't really think this through because I was like, we'll be able to get a good player. I forgot we were in the 15th round and I just took a shot for the right to draft Jeffrey Wilson.
Well, he did play awesome last year. Well, he had like 600 rushing yards, and we have basically the entire backfield now, right? Of the 49ers, we have Wilson and Raheem Mostert.
That's true. We're just kind of we are channeling our inner Kyle Shanahan and just collecting these guys.
Yeah. What was that? Some sort of vodka it looked like?
It was tequila. Yeah.
Tequila. What a brave man you are.
Yeah, you know what? This is what I now have like a Pavlovian response to doing these shows because it's a party on the internet. The issue is like I now do shows all the time. I can't justify drinking every night, Field.
Maybe you can. Dude, crack me up, man. As long as the wife allows it, right?
Yeah, she is. She's an angel and the most patient woman in the world. So
is she ever going to join you for randomizer draft, or is she one of those that like prefers to stay behind the scenes?
I don't think she would join me for a full randomizer draft. She's made a couple cameos, but I think she doesn't want any part of my bullshit, generally, Field. We can't pick whoever, though. Do you have a preference? Wilson, Henderson, McKissick, anyone else here at the top?
Well, we probably need a running back more than a wide receiver. 4 running backs. Who's our wide receiver? How's that looking right now? Like, we only have one good player, and it's DeAndre. We could really, I guess, we got a couple of guys. Yeah, Dak's a good player too.
I'd say running back or wide. Oh, we just got Jeffrey Wilson. We timed out.
Yeah, whatever. Jeffrey Wilson. That's exactly what I wanted, anyways.
That's right. Normally, the old days they would make me do a shot for timing out, but I just did one, so that is it. On a school night, just because it's Field, I'm only doing one. What
a responsible guy you are. I love that side. That's just an admirable quality of yours.
Yeah, one of the very few here. We are.
Do you have a dog? Do you have a dog?
I don't.
So Cisco is doing the thing where, for those out there who are dog owners, where dogs fall asleep and they start talking in their dreams, and like his, like when a frog like hiccups, like his body like expands. Like Cisco's doing that thing right now. He's like shaking like 3 feet away from me. He must be having the best dream of his life right now. No, in a good way. It's like, it's hilarious.
All right. Yeah. There you go. And with the cone on, it has to be even extra cute there.
He's actually the strange part is he's actually taken to the cone. He was neutered last week, and so this is actually a week ago. So after a week of it, it's like become a toy for him. So he's actually okay with it. He's like totally good, and like he's like comfortable in the cone. Now when we take it off to go on walks, he gets mad at us. So who knows?
Field, I swear the randomizer has ears tonight, because it seems like whatever we're talking about, it then serves us up that prompt. We're going to draft a player who had a quiet 2020, but you think will make noise in 2021, but must discuss the pick as if it's an ASMR/fantasy football podcast, because we need to be quiet for Cisco.
Okay, it's a really good idea. He's making some noise over here. Quiet 2020.
I do think
much better.
I think we need a wide receiver now.
Yeah, I agree. Deshaun Jackson was really quiet last year. Oh, KJ Hamler was really quiet last year, and he had some drops issues and all that.
Is he going to get a quarterback? Just break news in ASMR. Is Rodgers going to the Broncos, Field?
Probably not, but if we keep talking about it quietly, maybe he will.
That's right. If we talk quietly, no one can actually intercept this information.
Right. It's kind of like we're on the set of Jeopardy, and we have to be really quiet. Did you like Rodgers as the host or no?
I thought he was good. I think he's better at football than hosting, but I want everyone to kind of follow their dreams and what makes them happy.
Agreed.
Hang on, here's a hot take. I think KJ Hamler is better than Kadarius Toney. What do you think?
Ooh, I don't think that's that hot, actually. I think it's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, Hamler can fly.
And I feel like if Hamler was in this year's draft class, he could have gone where Toney did, but he was kind of the victim of being part of a really good draft class.
I agree. There are a lot of people who are down on Toney based off landing spot.
Yeah, it seems like the film guys, the metrics guys, no one liked Toney except Gettleman, and that seems kind of concerning.
It seems a little concerning. I love the trade down, though.
This is actually a 3-hour podcast, and we're just going to do this until one of us falls asleep.
Okay.
No, I think we're good. We did get Hamler. We got Hamler. We're good.
Okay, perfect. Great. We made it. We survived.
I mean, Cisco just got some very uninterrupted sleep there.
Yeah, he's having the time of his life right now. He's loving it. I just wish, I wish I could take 30 naps a day like he does.
It would be really nice. It would be.
Yeah.
When was the last time you took a nap?
It's actually, we've been like calling our shots here. Yesterday, like my wife came home from running out, and she was like, "You were asleep, like asleep." I fell asleep yesterday. I came after doing some laundry. I was up in our bedroom, and I just like got down on the bed. I haven't taken a nap I can't remember the last time I took a nap before that. And I don't know what it was. Like it was, I was trying to rest up for today. I think I was just thinking about the stakes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be my best self energy wise.
Yeah, I'm like afraid of naps now because I feel like if I take a nap, I'm going to be up till 4 a.m. You know, that's my concern.
Yeah. I also know that the minute I take a nap the next time, something's definitely going to happen with Rodgers, right? Like,
yeah,
you let your guard down for 1 second, and then next thing you know, Schefter tweets your nap into oblivion.
That's right. That's right. Schefter, you need to have like a special burner phone that will wake you up for particularly breaking news.
Well, do you know that there is on iPhones, there's like, I don't know if you're a do not disturb user at night. I do put my phone on do not disturb mode when I go to bed, but there is like a, there's a setting where you can, you can basically have like a bypass. So if, I don't know, like your wife texts you, even if you're on do not disturb, it still creates a tone. So I thought about that. Like they need to have that for Twitter notifications that like, even if it's 2:30 and I'm passed out, if Schefter tweets at 2:30 that, you know, whatever, Aaron Rodgers is going somewhere, that noise will still buzz because I want to wake up and hear that.
Yeah, the chat is going to roast me because I infamously am an Android guy. And so, but I just want to say Android has similar noise notifications. So everyone get off your high horse. I can do this too.
What's up with that though? We have a player, by the way, whose name sounds like a law firm.
Yeah, so I think this is kind of like an homage to the Ben Jarvis Green Ellis.
Yes, I love it. Yeah.
Draft someone whose last name would make for a good law firm name with your prior 2 picks. So
so we just took Jeffrey Wilson, right? And who else?
Yeah, and Hamler. So it's like Wilson, Hamler, and boom.
Okay.
Ooh, Wilson,
Hamler, and boom could be Wilson, Hamler, and Boone for Mike Boone. Ooh.
What about the alliteration with Wilson, Hamler, and Hubbard? That's pretty good.
Cuba Hubbard, I'm in. I feel like the last 2 alliterating, if that's the right way of putting it. It's probably not, but whatever. We'll go with it.
Wilson
is always a good play.
Yeah. What do we like? The bookend alliteration? And this is for Bethany Peters. Shout out Bethany in the chat. She's our big alliteration head.
That's a good one.
Or the
other option will be Wilson Winston.
Winston just went. So that's off the board. We don't want to draft Watson.
We don't.
Field, is Watson going to play snap this year?
I tend to think he will.
Okay.
But that's one of those, like, you know, make sure everybody knows that's like a May 6th, just guess, not reporting, not prediction type thing. It's just like, I feel it's, you know, it's basically a 50-50 and I'm guessing yes, but there's obviously so many tentacles to that situation. So I think we need to officially go Wilson, Hamler, and Hubbard is our law firm name.
I would trust them with a, you know, God forbid I was in a major lawsuit, but I would trust Wilson, Hamler, and Hubbard to handle my legal affairs.
Right. I agree. Does Fantasy Underground have Underdog Fantasy? Do they have I don't know why I thought Fantasy Underground. That was an old podcast. Does Underdog have a law? Like, you guys have to have a legal team, right? Somebody?
I think since they started paying me to be an influencer, they have since hired they put a lawyer on retainer. Just they never know what I'm going to do on here. So they had to protect themselves from that liability.
I thought you were going to say since they hired you, they lost their budget for legal teams. So didn't know which way that one was going.
Yeah, when I was in Miami for the Underdog Marathon stream, I was doing the randomizer draft and they had this like rocking chair type thing. And I decided a prompt would be I'd have to draft from there. And it did seem like at times I could just slip off of that and break my arm. And so do influencers get workman's comp? Field, do you know how that works?
I don't know the answer on that. I would think. Think maybe.
I need to look into that before I do more of these dangerous prompts.
It's a good point. Are we on our last pick, by the way?
Field, it's the end. We've come to the end here of the wheel.
Wow. I really hope we stick the landing here with a great one.
Ooh, you must draft a player from a team Field has worked for. I believe from my research, it was Patriots and Chiefs. Is there a team I'm forgetting?
Yeah, this one makes it easy. No, that's it. Patriots and Chiefs, which like from a fantasy perspective for a lot of years, and I think even this year is like a good thing, right? Like we'll be in business here.
That's right.
Let's see. So
let's look by ADP here.
Yeah, there's got to be like a DeMarcus Robinson or like a Noah. the Chiefs drafted this 5th round tight end if we needed, insurance there, but probably not the direction we're going. Cam, thoughts on Cam? I mean, if he does start, like much better pieces around him, right?
Yes, I'm just thinking, do we want to
Ramondre? Good thinking.
Someone in the chat said that. Belair said that.
Yeah,
and
like
what is your take on, I mean, the Patriots backfield is always very tough to predict, but do you think there's any chance he could rise to the top?
I think there is, actually. And so this year, lock it in with Damian Harris, lock it in with James White in terms of being on the roster. I don't know. I have no intel here, but I would think Sony Michel is a good bet to make the roster. But, they just declined or didn't pick up the option there. He's in a contract year. Ramondre probably fits more in 2022 and 2023, I would think. But I don't know. The Patriots, there could be 4 games this year where he leads them in carry and has a few catches too. So let's go Ramondre. No risk it, no biscuit.
We have secured Ramondre. Our law firm is now Wilson, Hamler, Hubbard, and Stevenson.
Yeah, that's a great law firm.
And you know what? The last year, and hopefully he does it again. Shout out Cody Carpentier. He put together a tournament where he made all of the teams drafted in the randomizer drafts, put them in their own fantasy league. And my gut reaction, Field, is if he decides to do that again, that this team isn't going to do that well.
Probably not, but we had fun. And a couple of thoughts here would be DeAndre could certainly help carry us, right? He could have 8 monster weeks this year for sure. Dak could carry us too, right? I feel like those are the 2 stars of the roster here. And then all we need is N'Keal Harry to break out, Chase Edmonds to be the guy for the entire year. I mean, we need a lot of things to happen. But Le'Veon Bell, where would Le'Veon Bell best fit?
Probably on someone else's team.
Right. Good point.
No, it's because with the natural thing is you draft a fantasy team, everyone loves the team they just drafted. They just drafted it. Of course they love it. Right. The amount of hula hoops that we have to jump through to justify why we like this team. I mean, Field, that's the ultimate challenge prompt right there.
Yeah, I agree. And who knows? I mean, did anybody who had UCLA going to the NCAA championship this year? Nobody, right? I feel like there are chances for us to achieve greatness in life, and this is one of our chances.
That's right. And honestly, we're kind of free rolling, right? Because we were the guys just screwing around drafting. And if we somehow win, it's these guys that were trying that drop the ball.
Experts. The experts are so screwed if we win. It's embarrassing for them.
Yeah. That's how you do it. Well, Field, we really appreciate you coming off and kicking things off here for randomizer season.
This went by really fast. That was a fast hour. I loved it.
That's good. I would be concerned if you were that was the slowest hour of my life, Pete.
No, you're in good hands. Don't worry.
Well, awesome. And what do you guys got going on? You got the podcast. Any other plugs that you want to get here for the people?
I'll be sitting in this chair tomorrow, a little bit earlier than this, for NFL Live. If anybody wants to hear about us, talk about whatever's happening. But most important thing is tip your favorite Twitter users. Now that you can do that, tip them.
Wow.
Tip them handsomely.
There you go. I need to get back in the lab. I need a few tweets to go viral. Maybe I'll continue to tweet about your dog and see if that gets me any tips.
He has that affinity toward people have an affinity towards him. So I feel like it's a good strategy.
There you go, guys. So a few housekeeping things. Now we are going to be locked and loaded every Thursday night, 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern, depending on guests. We'll have the randomizer shows here on Underdog Fantasy. Also, if you want to get in the drafts, you just become a member to the YouTube channel. I post those links in the Discord, having lots of fun in there, brainstorming prompts. Thank you to the think tank for doing research on Field Yates with me and coming up with some fun ones today. So again, thank you guys. It's going to be a very fun summer. Shout out Field Yates. Shout out the chat. We'll see you guys next time.